Hello everyone. If you are 65 or older and still paying property taxes on your home, I need you to check one thing with your county or local tax office. Because in many places, senior homeowners may qualify for exemptions, freezes, deferrals, or tax relief programs. But if you miss the application, miss the deadline, or assume it happens automatically, you could keep paying more than you should. Please like this video, share it with someone who owns a home, and subscribe to this channel. These local programs are easy to miss, but for seniors on a fixed income, they can make a real difference. That is the part I want you to remember. A senior property tax break may exist in your area, but that does not mean you are already receiving it. It does not mean your county automatically applied it. It does not mean your bill is already as low as it could be. And it does not mean you should assume there is nothing you can do when the property tax notice arrives in the mail. This is where many senior homeowners get caught. Not because they are irresponsible, not because they failed to pay attention, not because they are trying to avoid paying what they owe, but because property tax relief programs are usually local. The rules are different from one place to another, and many seniors are never told clearly that they may have to apply for the benefit themselves. So the bill comes. The amount is higher than last year. The homeowner looks at it, feels frustrated, and says, everything keeps going up. The mortgage may be paid off. The house may have been in the family for decades. But the tax bill still comes every year. And for a senior living on Social Security, a pension, or a fixed retirement income, even a few $100s can matter. It can affect groceries. It can affect prescription costs. It can affect utility bills. It can affect whether someone feels safe staying in the home they worked their whole life to own. That is why this topic is so important. Because in many states, counties, cities, or local tax districts, there may be programs for older homeowners. Some places call it a senior exemption. Some call it a homestead exemption. Some call it a property tax freeze. Some call it a tax deferral. Some call it circuit breaker relief. Some call it an assessment limit. And some programs may not use the word senior in the title at all, even though older homeowners may qualify. That is why you cannot rely only on the name. You have to ask the right office, and in most places, that office is your county assessor, county tax collector, local property appraiser, or local tax office. This is not the same as calling the IRS. This is not usually handled by Social Security. And it is not always something Medicare would ever tell you about. Property taxes are local, so the help is often local too. That is why one senior in one county may qualify for a benefit, while another senior in a different county may have a completely different rule. One state may offer a senior exemption at age 65. Another may have an income limit. Another may freeze the taxable value of the home. Another may allow taxes to be deferred until the home is sold or the estate is settled. Another may offer relief only for disabled homeowners, veterans, surviving spouses, low-income seniors, or people who have lived in the home for a certain number of years. The details change depending on where you live. But the mistake is the same everywhere. People assume that if they qualify, the county will automatically lower the bill. That is not always true. In many places, you must apply. You may need to prove your age. You may need to prove that the home is your primary residence. You may need to show income information. You may need to renew the exemption. You may need to file before a deadline. And if you miss that deadline, the county may not reduce that bill for the year. That is the part seniors need to hear before the tax bill is due. Because once the deadline passes, the answer may be you can apply for next year. But next year does not help if the bill is due now. So today, I want to walk you through what senior homeowners should check, what words to ask for, what offices to call, what deadlines to watch, and what mistakes can cause someone to keep paying more than they should. Before we go deeper, please like this video, share it with a senior homeowner, and subscribe to this channel. I cover information like this because government benefits, tax relief programs, Medicare rules, Social Security updates, and senior protections are not always explained in plain English. The people who are subscribed here learn what to ask before the deadline. The people who are not subscribed often find out after they already paid the full bill. So please like, share, subscribe, and let's keep going. The first thing you need to understand is that a property tax exemption is not the same as a refund check. This is important. Some people hear the word benefit and think someone is going to send them money. That is usually not how this works. A property tax exemption may reduce the taxable value of your home. A tax freeze may limit future increases. A deferral may postpone payment. A circuit breaker program may reduce your tax burden based on income. A local relief program may lower part of what you owe. But the exact form of help depends on your area. The goal is usually to reduce, freeze, limit, delay, or offset part of the property tax burden for people who qualify. That is why you must ask specifically. Do not just call and say, do seniors get free property taxes? That question is too broad. The better question is, I am 65 or older and I own and live in my home. What property tax exemptions, homestead exemptions, freezes, deferrals, or senior relief programs are available in this county? That one question is much stronger, because the person at the office may not know what you mean if you only say senior discount. But if you mention exemption, homestead, freeze, deferral, and relief program, you are covering the main categories. And if you are a veteran, disabled, a surviving spouse, or living on limited income, you should say that too. Because some programs are not only based on age. Some are based on disability. Some are based on military service. Some are based on income. Some are based on widow or widower status. Some are based on whether the home is your primary residence. And some require more than one condition. That means two neighbors on the same street may not receive the same tax relief. One may qualify. One may not. One may have applied years ago. One may never have filed the form. One may have an exemption but forgot to renew it. One may have moved and failed to reapply at the new address. One may have inherited a home and not updated the ownership records correctly. That is why seniors should not assume their bill is correct just because it came from the county. The bill may be calculated correctly based on the records the county has. But the county may not know that you are now 65. It may not know that your income changed. It may not know that a spouse passed away. It may not know that you now qualify for a program you did not qualify for before. It may not know that you thought an exemption transferred automatically when it did not. The county can only apply what is in its system. And if your exemption is not in the system, your bill may come at the full amount. That is why the first action step is simple. Look at your most recent property tax bill. Do not just look at the total amount due. Look for any line that shows exemptions, reductions, credits, homestead benefits, senior benefits, or taxable value adjustments. If you do not see anything, that does not automatically mean you do not qualify. It may mean you have not applied. It may mean the exemption is listed under a different name. It may mean the bill format does not make it obvious. Or it may mean you need to call and ask. And when you call, write down the name of the person you spoke with, the date of the call, the programs they mentioned, the deadline, and what documents you need. Because when property taxes are involved, you do not want to rely on memory. You want names, dates, forms, and deadlines. That is how seniors protect themselves. Not by guessing. Not by waiting. Not by assuming the county will fix it automatically. But by asking the right office the right question before the deadline passes. Because for many senior homeowners, the most expensive property tax mistake is not being denied. It is never applying in the first place. Now, the second thing senior homeowners need to understand is that deadlines matter. This is one of the biggest reasons people miss property tax relief. They may qualify. They may be the right age. They may own and live in the home. They may be on a fixed income. They may have paid property taxes for years. But if they miss the application date, the county may not apply the benefit for that tax year. That is why you should not wait until the bill is already due. By the time the bill arrives, some deadlines may have already passed. In some places, the application deadline comes months before the tax payment deadline. That surprises people. They think, I will deal with this when the bill comes. But the county may say, the exemption application deadline was earlier. And once that deadline passes, the answer may be, you can apply for next year. That is not what a senior on a fixed income wants to hear. So the next step is simple. Call your county assessor, property appraiser, or local tax office and ask, what is the deadline to apply for senior property tax exemptions or relief programs? Then ask, if I miss the deadline, is there any late application option, appeal option, or hardship exception? Do not assume the answer is no. Some places may allow late applications under certain conditions. Some may not. But you will not know unless you ask. And when you ask, write it down. Do not just say, I think they told me it was sometime in spring. Write the exact date. Write the name of the form. Write where it must be submitted. Write whether it can be mailed, filed online, or must be delivered in person. Write whether supporting documents are required. And if you mail anything, keep proof that you sent it. Because when money is on the line, paperwork matters. The third thing to check is whether your exemption has to be renewed. This is another mistake that costs people money. Some property tax exemptions continue automatically once approved. Some require renewal every year. Some require renewal only if your situation changes. Some require you to confirm income. Some require you to reapply after moving. Some require a new application if the ownership changes. And some benefits can be removed if the county sends a notice and you do not respond. So if you already have a senior exemption, do not assume you are safe forever. Look at your bill. Look at your county account online if available. Call the office and ask, is my exemption active? Then ask, do I need to renew it this year? Then ask, what could cause me to lose this exemption? Those three questions can prevent a nasty surprise later. because some seniors think they still have the benefit, but it was removed because of a missed renewal, a return notice, a change in ownership, a move, a death of a spouse, or a paperwork issue. And they do not find out until the bill jumps. That jump can feel like the county suddenly raised the tax. But sometimes the real issue is that an exemption disappeared from the account. That is why you should compare your current bill with last year's bill. Look at the exemption lines. Look at the taxable value. Look at the assessed value. Look at the total tax due. If something changed sharply, ask why. Do not just assume it is correct. The fourth thing to understand is that moving can change everything. Many seniors downsize. Some move closer to their children. Some sell a long-time home and buy a smaller one. Some move into a different county. Some move to another state. Some put the home into a trust. Some add a child to the deed. Some inherit a home after a spouse passes away. Any of those changes can affect property tax relief. An exemption that applied to the old house may not automatically follow you to the new house. A senior freeze may not transfer the same way. A homestead exemption may have to be applied for again. A tax benefit may be based on how long you have lived in that home. A benefit may be based on the owner listed in county records. And if the ownership records do not match the benefit rules, the county may not apply the exemption. So before you sell, move, add someone to the deed, or change ownership, ask the tax office, will this affect my senior exemption or property tax relief? That is not a small question. For some families, changing a deed without understanding the tax impact can create problems later. It may affect exemptions. It may affect Medicaid planning. It may affect inheritance issues. It may affect property tax reassessment. And it may affect who legally owns the home. So do not make property changes just because someone says, put your child on the deed. It will make things easier. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it creates problems. Talk to a qualified professional before making major ownership decisions. The fifth thing senior homeowners should watch for is property tax scam pressure. Anytime there is a government benefit, scammers and aggressive companies may show up around it. They may send mail that looks official. They may say they can get your tax lowered. They may promise a refund. They may ask for an upfront fee. They may say your home is at risk unless you act immediately. They may use words like senior relief, homestead filing, tax reduction, assessment review, or government program. Some services may be legitimate, but seniors need to be careful, because many property tax exemptions can be applied for directly through your county office. You may not need to pay a private company just to file a basic form. So before you pay anyone, call your county office yourself. Ask, can I apply for this exemption directly? Ask, is there a filing fee? Ask, is this company connected to the county? And if the letter uses government-looking seals, urgent threats, or asks for payment before explaining what they do, be cautious. Do not give out personal information just because a letter looks official. Do not sign a document you do not understand. Do not pay someone who promises guaranteed tax savings. And do not ignore the real county office while trusting a random mailer. The safest place to start is the official local office that handles your property tax records. Now, let's talk about what documents you may need. Every place is different, but many offices may ask for proof of age, proof of ownership, proof that the home is your primary residence, and sometimes proof of income. That may include a driver's license, state ID, deed, property tax bill, utility bill, social security benefit statement, tax return, pension statement, or other financial documents. If you are applying as a surviving spouse, veteran, disabled homeowner, or low-income senior, there may be extra documents. That is why you should not wait until the last week. Gathering paperwork takes time. Finding old documents takes time. Calling the right office takes time. And if something is missing, you may need more than one day to fix it. So when you call the county office, ask, what documents do I need to apply? Then ask, do copies work, or do you need originals? Then ask, can someone help me complete the form if I do not understand it? Many seniors do not ask that last question, but they should. Some county offices, senior centers, legal aid groups, area agencies on aging, or local nonprofit groups may help older residents understand forms. You do not have to guess your way through paperwork if help is available. The sixth thing to understand is that property tax relief is not always only for people with very low income. Some programs have strict income limits. Some do not. Some are based mainly on age. Some are based on disability. Some are based on home value. Some are based on income compared to tax burden. Some are based on long-term residency. Some are based on veteran status. That is why seniors should not disqualify themselves without checking. Do not say, I probably make too much. Do not say, my house is probably worth too much. Do not say, I am sure they would have told me. Do not say, my neighbor did not qualify, so I will not qualify either. Ask the office. Rules can change. Income limits can change. Home values can change. Your age can change your eligibility. Your spouse's death can change your eligibility. Retirement can change your income. A disability can change your status. and moving into the home as your primary residence can change whether a homestead exemption applies. So check again, especially if your life changed recently. Now here is the full picture. If you are a senior homeowner, your property tax bill may not be the lowest amount available to you. There may be a senior exemption, homestead exemption, tax freeze, deferral, circuit breaker, veteran benefit, disability exemption, surviving spouse benefit, or local relief program. But many of these programs require an application. Some have deadlines, some require renewal. Some depend on income. Some depend on age. Some depend on whether the home is your primary residence. And some can be lost if you move, change ownership, miss paperwork, or fail to respond to a notice. So here is what I want you to do. Find your most recent property tax bill. Call your county assessor, property appraiser, tax collector, or local tax office. Ask what senior property tax relief programs are available. Ask whether you already have an exemption on file. Ask whether it must be renewed. Ask what the deadline is. Ask what documents are required. And ask whether any benefit applies to your age, income, disability status, veteran status, surviving spouse status, or primary residence. Do not wait until the bill is due. Do not assume the county applied it automatically. Do not pay a private company before checking whether you can apply directly. And do not assume you are not eligible until the official office tells you. Because for many senior homeowners, the difference is not whether a program exists. The difference is whether they know to ask. If this video helped you, please like it, share it with a senior homeowner, and subscribe to this channel. Property tax relief can be easy to miss, especially when every county uses different words and different rules. One phone call may not solve everything, but it can tell you what to apply for, what deadline to watch, and whether you have been paying more than you needed to. I'll see you in the next one.